post-colonialism. And this is our summary class or the wrap-up class for post-colonialism, and we have already know what does post-colonialism mean. What is post-colonialism? Can you tell?
Post-colonialism means the rulers from different nations who come to the poor city or underprivileged areas to rule there, to build their culture.
Yes.
Culture.
And what does it refer? The period?
The period. A
yes.
particular period.
Okay, after the colonialism. When the colonial imperialism or the colonizers, they left our country, and there are some effects.
Aftermath.
Yes, aftermath, some consequences of colonialism. And this colonialism, after the colonialism, what the people face and their mentality, and yes,
how the people are increasing.
how the people feel about their culture, about the economy, and the social, political influences of colonialism. Everything is related with post-colonialism. And when after the Second World War, the British Empire has been declared. So after that, the literature, the novel, the stories was written by the people of that land. Those who saw the effects, the consequences of colonialism, they had observed the psychological, social, political barriers, political influences, and the cultural mixtures. They have given some theory, and we know that the post-colonialism is which referred to the period following the decline of colonialism. It signifies the end of domination. Domination means the oppression, the exploitation of the colonizers, and by European empires. Although the term post-colonialism generally refers to the period after colonialism, the distinction is not always made. Okay, so post-colonialism deals with the time after colonialism and
study of consequences.
Yes, the consequences, the aftermath, the effect, the influences of colonialism. So, what does it examine? Post-colonialism critically examines the relationship between
The colonizers and colonized.
yes, the colonizers. Who are the colonizers? Those people
Who are colonized by a different nation. For
by
example,
different nations, the foreign nations, the powerful nations, and the colonizers. From the earliest days of exploration and the colonization. So these are the post-colonial theory, and what are the key elements of post-colonialism? Post-colonial theory. The key elements is otherness, hybridity, and sense of alienation, and identity crisis, and diaspora. So otherness, who observed this? Who at first this defined? Okay, fine. Adversate defined with the otherness. What does it mean? What do you understand by otherness or othering?
Except the worst people, we consider everyone as inferior. Others,
Yes?
all of them are.
People without basically white
One
people
of them.
or Western people, everyone are other people.
Okay, except the white, the colonizers, the other people, they think, the colonizers think the colonized people, they are
Eastern countries people.
other, they are inferior. Okay, Taskia, will you try?
Yeah, because otherness is
Louder, louder.
People without the best people.
Without the waste, that is the the people, the colonized people, they are called Orientals. Orientals and the colonized people, they are called Occidents. Okay, remember this term, Orient and Occident. So again, except the Western people, the other people, everybody is there. Okay, they are included in this or other. Okay, so another key elements is hybridity. Okay, hybridity, what does it mean?
Mixture of culture.
Culture. That means the culture of the Western people and the culture of the Eastern or the colonized people. Hybridity. So there is a mixture, and in a sense that the most of the time the culture of the Occident, that means the colonizers culture gets the prominence, priority, isn't it?
Yes.
So who is the main person or the tweeter or the yes, hybridity?
Homi
Bhabha. He observed the cultural nature of the colonized and the colonizers. Clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, another is theory of alienation or sense of alienation. Okay, so what do you understand by alienation? Alienation means?
Alienation kind of related with the otherness.
Yes, any of you can try? Yes?
And when we can't adopt the culture of the West people, then we think we are alienated. I mean, we don't belong to them.
Okay, so again you tell so that everybody can hear. When we can't adopt the culture of Western people or the colonizers. Okay, sense of alienation. When we means the colonized people. When the colonized people can't adopt the culture of when the colonized people, the Orientals or the oppressed, when the colonized people cannot adopt the culture of the colonizers, they feel alienated, they feel inferior, they feel alienated. In that situation, sense of alienation happens. Clear to you?
Yes.
So this alienation is very much pervasive, very much relevant when in this situation they feel alienated. Yeah? Okay, you can see? Write down everybody. Okay, another thing is identity. So what is the crisis? Crisis of identity. What do you?
As
Nationality.
example,
Yes, identity.
as example.
Okay, Rohingya, that means okay, they are suffering from their
Identity, because they are oppressed by Myanmar.
Myanmar,
Now
and
they are living in the refugee camp.
Yes, they have been forced.
They have been forced.
to leave their
Leave their-
country. So they don't have any national identity now. This is a very severe crisis. As a student, you have student identity, and you have national identity, you are Bangladeshi citizen. But if you are forced to leave your country and leave another country permanently, but you are not saying Bangladeshi or you don't have any personal identity as a citizen. So this is a very
They will consider us as a refugee camp.
so yes, when the colonized people they are forced, they are oppressed, and they are exploited. In that case, they also feel the crisis of identity. Okay, anything anymore? Do you want to add anything with this? The crisis of identity? And is it clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next is diaspora. Diaspora is the word new to you? Okay. And we have discussed about diaspora and the Rohingya. The diaspora of Rohingya is very much familiar to you. And diaspora, what does it mean? Diaspora, yes. And a large group of people. A large group of people, they willingly or unwillingly, they leave the country. It may be forcefully, or it may be due to war, or due to political issues, or natural disaster. So when people willingly or unwillingly leave their own homelands and settle another country for permanently. Maybe you say some people go to the developed country to have better safety, better life, better safety, security, or for education. Okay, that is different. But yes, this is willingly. But some people, they have to leave. Maybe somewhere there is earthquake or there is flood, so they have to leave their homeland unwillingly. This is one type of diaspora. So this is another reason. And after that, so we have discussed our novel Shadow Line, written by Amitabh Ghosh. So what did you see in the shadow line? So we see, okay, historical events as Swadeshi movement, Second World War, partition of India, riots of 1960s in Dhaka and Calcutta. So these are the historical events we see, and we found some related activities, related memories, and the three generation was there, and the writer very successfully portrayed the difficulties, the ways they have suffered, and the crucial events they have experienced. So this happens when a country changes, some political, social changes, it happens. So in Shadow Line, Amitabh Ghosh portrays all these historical events, and the main part of the novel centers on the consequences of drawing lines. So what does these lines mean? The border of the country. When the British colonizers were there in this land, it was called the Indian subcontinent. So it is one, just like a one big country. There was no border. So India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, this is called Indian subcontinent. But in 1947, Pakistan and India, the two countries emerged. Yes, and this the Pakistan, yes, for political reason. Yes, and these two countries divided, and there is a
Political reason or
yes, this
religion?
is no, obviously political, religion, and this is very much debated. They divided this country, but there is lots of criteria. This is very much debatable issues. But the British, British has divided this subcontinent as India and Pakistan. More or less, they thought that the Muslim portion is will be Pakistan and the Hindu portion will be the Indian. But we the Bangladeshi, we were called
Hybrid.
yes.
Hybrid.
No, we there at that time we were called East Pakistan,
Yes.
and the
West
Pakistan was
West
West
Pakistan.
Pakistan. After that, we were oppressed, we were exploited, and after liberation war, we were independent. We became independent, and in 1971 we got our freedom. That is different history. But so the division is going on, and these lines, these borders, the country borders is called shadow lines, which Amitabh Ghosh portrayed in his novel Shadow Lines. So the consequences of drawing lines around ourselves, these lines, the border, and our nation seeking identity in the absurd, hectic world today, this modern world. So why these lines? So if there is no border, that means it will be, the buzzword is called globalization, global village. So technologically, if we see that if there is no border, then everything will be easier for us. But due to social, political issues, there are borders. And we are the people who suffer for this border, for this, okay, shadow lines. This is one type of metaphor. I think, okay, you understand the metaphor, the comparison, the needed comparison, the implicit comparison. So, in a summary, if we want to sum up regarding post-colonialism, so post-colonial theories are related with the consequences, the aftermath of the colonial period. After the colonial period. So when the colonialism, the imperialism has been declined, has been ended. After that, the effects is exist. So these effects, when we see in our literature, in our novels, in our short stories, these effects are very much existent, very much present, very much prevalent in our literature, and the effects we see in the characters, in the context, in the settings. So from this, we will analyze, and we will analyze the theory also, theory of hybridity, theory of identity, sense of alienation, diaspora, all these are key points regarding post-colonialism. And we have observed some important prominent figures. Yes. So Edward Said, Homi Bhabha, Gayatri Spivak, and Franz Fanon. These are the prominent. Chinua Achebe, he is the post-colonial writer. He has written Things Fall Apart. He is also prominent, but the theorists are those people who saw the effects and they define it. They define the theory. Okay, so remember these prominent figures, the theorists, and remember the theory there regarding identity crisis, regarding the sense of alienation, regarding otherness. And do you have any other question? Regarding diaspora? No. Okay. So thank you. Thank you all.